starting now. Like how she gives you that warning. I wanted to bring this up to Deuce. I forgot. I wanted to know if you remembered him.
Everybody in Millwoods remembers and knows the man, the myth, the legend, Norm Cholak. If you're from Southside and you didn't have a Norm Cholak, or what's the next man? There was another crazy legend of real estate. Norm Cholak's definitely
Normie's my favorite because he always gave out the magnets.
Gordy L. Do you remember Gordy L?
No, I don't got Gordy.
Oh, you didn't get Gordy L's magnets? I love those back in the 90s. Is all the good realtors would come and link your house with some magnets. Like in case 3 of you in this neighborhood of 100 is selling a house, here's a magnet. You might want to call me when you need to sell this house.
Did you ever get the whiteboard? Where you could like write, it was like a magnetic thing that you could put on the fridge where you could leave like a note with a marker and it wiped off. That was Norm. Norm gave those out.
Oh, he gave those out.
Yeah, that was a huge thing in my family where you just leave a note being like, okay, I went to so-and-so's house. I went to like,
yeah. I had to do that. I used to run notes.
Normie hooked us up with that. We never had it before.
No, not the whiteboard is what I'm saying. Yeah. We just did it on a notepad. See, that's the black people matrix is there's no whiteboard. Make sure you leave a note on top of the stove.
What if Norm gave you one though? You wouldn't have had one?
Oh, we would probably use it.
Yeah, it's
probably.
Okay, but yeah, that's how we're gonna start this podcast. I guess you want to get started.
Yo, no warning podcast, red dot headshot. You know who it is, your boy Agye Champong.
We're just
with my man Craig Jones on the mic. 1 2 1 2. Jones is fixing his flag. You're real. Canadian.
I'm upside down.
Turn that leaf upside down, man.
There we go.
Disrespect it. Respect the flag. There we go. Hey, or as the guy on the soccer announcements, I know he loves his line. Oh, Canada. Oh, baby.
Sounds like Ric Flair. You know?
No,
got a little Ric Flair vibes.
Rick?
No.
Don't do that to my man.
I mean that like with that.
I know, but Rick's he different, dog. You know what I mean? That guy don't wear gaiters. You got to wear gaiters to be compared to Ric Flair. Come on, man. Anyways, yo, Joe,
back on track. Look at
we're coming off of the greatest Canadian soccer. Two games,
baby.
Two games. Where did it happen? Why does everything classic have to always come back to the homeland? Edmonton, shout outs. I was there Friday. Everyone saw me getting hyped up on those pre-game previews. Y'all thought I was going yesterday? No. Hell no, I wasn't going yesterday. People were like, enjoy the game, because you know how I was hyping. I was like, are you crazy? Do you see this meticulous level of black? It doesn't crack because it doesn't enter those types of wins. Okay? I'm not friends with Jack Frost. You know what I mean?
I feel like obligated to start this Zoom like we did the other two and just be like, it's a celebration, darkness. Darkness
is a celebration of darkness. Hey man, you might as well. I just want to throw that up. But yo, real talk.
Oh, you scared? I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was frozen.
Shit. All jokes aside, yes, this is black that glows, but we're not talking about that. Jones, Edmonton represented to the fullest. 49,000 on Friday, 44,000 yesterday, which is funny because they sold 50,000 tickets, which means 6,000 people were like, nah. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of them. I actually sold mine. I was lucky to sell mine early because I had an agreement with one of my buddies at work that if I didn't go on Tuesday, he was already like lined up for if I didn't go on Tuesday, he was lined up to take the tickets. So shout out to Gavin. He took those tickets and he enjoyed the game with his son.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But yo,
he's a trooper. That's what you do. It's just
Craig.
But honestly, actually, the game I want to talk, I think Friday was way more important than yesterday in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like if they would have started if they wouldn't have started that off with a big win, I don't think the atmosphere carries as much. And I know it's like easy to say, like if they come out with a draw, but just getting that win, in that atmosphere.
Momentum. Like, yeah. I could say that. Momentum. I don't think it's bigger.
The game yesterday, the game yesterday, it was slow. It was like cold. The ref was awful.
We never beat them in the World Cup qualifying match. We've beaten them, but never. Not once.
That's
bro.
Yeah. So, well, no, they beat him in 76 on Canadian soil. They beat Mexico.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we're going back.
Yo, 76 boys. No, but real talk, 76 boys. They're like, who you say never about?
I know it's a weird. All I'm saying is that if Friday hadn't happened the way it did, I don't think they win yesterday. That's like my thinking. It's like they came in with such momentum. They were feeling hot. You know what I mean? Like
that helped a lot.
Well, it's like when we were talking to Toss and Tam, like when they were getting into that beef at the end. Like that was just like they were riding this momentum, and that's that building for a while. Yeah, check that out if you didn't listen. Yeah, that interview was wild.
Right? I said one of the most beautiful integral factors of this team is when there's a clash, they ride out together, and the end of that game signified that to the fullest. And I love how my boy Stefan Eustachio decided to end all the beef by running to the crowd and just hyping them up. And I feel like everyone got this because I feel like our Canadian boys, they were ready to fight, dog. Mexico wasn't backing down. We kept pushing, push. Canada doesn't get into that. You know what I mean? They really never get into that. We kind of just get slapped and pushed. And this window of World Cup qualifiers was so different to me, Jones, because I saw Canada go from like, how's this going to go to as each game went on, I'm like, yo, Canada is supposed to win. Canada is going to win. Canada's playing way better. Like Jones, the two games, let's be honest, they dominated the ball play. You know what I mean?
Totally.
They looked like the better team both games. Same thing in the last window. They went to the Azteca. They looked better than Mexico in Mexico. And then we came here. Alfonso did the magic that one game, 4-1 Panama. Then these two games, the last four games, Canada has gotten 9 points, drew once, 10 points, and they're dominating. It's wild.
Weird analogy. We're Canadian, and we got some poachers, man. They poached that ball. Two big mistakes. Jonathan David's a little poacher, man. He just runs in there, and he's snaking all those goals. I love it. He plays. That's why he's leading the French. He's tied for the French league in scoring right now, man.
Real talk.
Do you know how crazy that is? He's ahead of Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, the bedwetter Ben Yedda. Like it's just like he has so many guys that he's ahead of, and people just like forget it. And I'm like, that's what I was loving about Canada. I was so happy he scored. I called it before the game. I was like, he's gonna start this off, because as we talked off air, dude, love Alfonso, love him to death. But man, he was trying. It was like that good, the bad, and the ugly. Because it's awesome that he's trying so hard to impress his hometown, and he's just trying to kill it. Mm-hmm. But then soccer's that game of like, you have to let it come to you, and he was kind of forcing it. And it was like that double whammy of like, and he had four guys guarding him, and that's like the ugly part where it's just like they were closing it hard, especially against Mexico. There's like several times where he had like four defenders just around him.
Yo, that's what you expect when you're the star man in soccer. You have to know that you're gonna get like double, triple teamed. And like you said, Jones, real talk, I think he was just so hyped up. 49,000 fans playing for your country in your hometown. Of course he wanted to go off. You know what I mean? So I think no doubt he was just trying too hard to make a big play. But at the same time, you have to remember, even though it didn't like go so well for him so much that first night, and overall he played real hard. I want to give him a big shout out and big props, because he gave everything both games. He wasn't having the most luck, but he gave everything.
And he gave some nice corners in there too.
And that's what I was going to say. Like he pressed the ball. He did things that weren't the big offensive play very well. And while we're talking about that, Tejan yesterday, dog, you saw that one run where it was him and Fonz. Like, obviously you won. I'm not going to focus on that being a major factor, but I was screaming at the screen, dog. Lay it off! Yo, Fonzie was gone to the net by himself, not offside. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, it's all good. I just know Alfonso wanted that goal. His after reaction to not getting the pass said everything. He did the toddler fucking tighten up body, but it's all good. Next time, Fonzie, you did your thing, represented Edmonton to the fullest.
Oh, Hutchinson getting most caps. That was nice to see too.
Huge records were broke, Jones. Let me
I'm digging
get into this little factor. There's some key players I need a shout out, dog. Okay. First off, Eustachio. When we were in our pod with Tam and Tuss, his name came up. Tam singled him out as the player to look out for. Jones, he's the single most influential offensive player without being like in the run of the goals. All his balls free up people. Like he gives me such a like Javi-esque type of game. He obviously is not Javi. You always need a comparison that people are familiar with. But in the middle of the park, he's not a crazy tackler, but he's always in good position. Yeah. And his passes are on point. And he takes the corners on the other side of the field, I noticed. Alfonso takes him in the one corner, and Eustachio takes him in the other.
He fired in that nice bender to Laren
to get the goal for Laren. And then also when I think David fumbled, when he took it off, I think that was off of Eustachio free kick too.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just gonna say, do you think if I took a survey of all like really diehard footy fans, when they say center mid is the hardest position to play?
Diehard. Well, there's different because you have center.
No, but just like if it's just all on a list, you have to pick the hardest one to play.
Yeah, it's probably because you have to be the most well-rounded usually.
And you
have to have a very decent level of cardio too.
Yeah, because you're doing both ways, but you're also in the smallest spaces too. And that's where I think it's also crazy is you don't have the room to do the tap aheads. Like you have to
him and a
that's why he's playing well. He's in, you see, he was just making plays. There was a lot of
both games, you know what I mean? Next up, I want to shout out Kamal Miller. Man, yo, my man, he's cue ball bald, looking like a young Michael Jordan with that bald head. But yo, Kamal Miller, bro, he made so few of errors, but not just that, Jones. There was some crucial tackles where it was like going to be a one-on-one with the goalie. And I was scared even because he extended, but he always got ball first.
Totally.
And I was like, yo, this guy is steady, that steady center back you love. And Vittoria next to him, shout out to him too. He's like a calming presence. And I like how he came on for Daniel Henry, because Henry was out there laying out dudes right away.
You're black and yellow.
Big up Daniel Henry yesterday. He came out, Chucky Lozano. I thought Chucky was faking until his face was cut open. Daniel, he's the one who started the fight with the Panamanians. I like Daniel Henry. You can tell he's the bulldog of that team. You know what I mean? Then next, of course, Ghanaian representation in the national team. Richie Larea. Yo, Richie, up and down the wing, Jones. You gotta love wing backs, dog. You gotta love wing backs. All they do is go up and down all game long. They have to cut in the middle here and there, but they're so responsible to make sure that those breakaways don't happen, and then also those presses. And yesterday, he almost laid off another breakaway to Alfonso. Remember when Buddy grabbed him at the shoulders? But he had the heart to stay on his feet.
What is that?
Part of me wanted him to go down, but then the other part was like, the fact
should have been yellow anyways. Nothing happened. I know. It was better. It
should have been a yellow anyway.
Yeah, it should have just been a yellow after the play. Like that was.
But once he didn't fall, Jones, he needed to play it.
Actually, that ref was terrible, and it's I
liked him at the starting, but I didn't like him at the ending. No, at the beginning, I didn't mind him.
Oh my god!
I felt like he was. You cannot get away with this. You know those. But then after a while, I'm like, yo, you're trying to be too much of a star with the hair slicked back and the aggressive.
Dude, approach. You can't be calling 8 fouls in the first 10 minutes. Like it's already cold. Like you just have to accept it's going to be a dirtier game.
I thought he was trying to mark his ground, but you're right. It ended up getting out of control.
How about Borjan? Borjan played really well, man.
Milan Borjan. Yo, Tuss said he got his first caps with them. And he shouted out Max Crepeau as a player to look out for. Yeah. But you know what? Seeing Milan Borjan gave me is like, yo, our depth in goal is crazy. If our boy Tuss, who's a striker, saying that Crepeau is very, very capable of being the number one keeper, but we got this performance for 2 games, and you can tell too, Borjan definitely has that European swagger in his goaltending.
Dude, he's El Capitano of Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah, and you can feel that.
I know you've seen that video of what it's like to come out into that stadium. where it's just insane.
Which
I
one?
was in Red Star Belgrade. Have you ever seen that?
No idea.
Oh, they make the opponents come out the craziest tunnel. Oh, I'll have to send it to you after. I think I showed you before, but I'll show it to you again. Who else? Anyone else in your list?
Hold on, there was a couple more. Oh, Tajon, of course. You know what I mean? I feel like he's like on his way. You can tell a player who's on the cusp of getting to a peak. He's just starting to get hot because he's at that stage where I love about a fresh player. He'll take on anyone and he'll try and beat anyone. And he's running at anyone. You know what I mean?
If he would have nailed that bike.
The bicycle on Friday. And even some, my goodness, even some of the just the give and go plays and his speed on the wing, creativity to open things up. You always got to have a player who's willing to take guys on one-on-one. That's what creates like big plays and big opportunities. This kid is not lacking courage, so he has to get enough respect.
I have a prediction that he kills it so much and they go into the World Cup and he gets brought back from loan. So he goes back to Club Brugge because he's rocking a loan in MLS. Because that's the World Cup effect. That could, if he gets there and he has a couple decent games,
no doubt. I think that might already happen.
Have you ever seen In Bruges, the movie?
No, I haven't. I didn't even know there was a movie named.
Oh, it's a good one. Colin Farrell.
Yo, and last but not least, about the 2 games qualifying, the atmosphere was amazing because I know Canada or Edmonton isn't the craziest city of like hardcore soccer fans, but I say that tongue in cheek almost in the sense that every time there's big soccer events here, 03 girls under 20, I believe, or 18, 07 men's under 20, which I was talking about with Tuss. The women's under, I think 15 or 17 World Cup was here a few years ago. David Beckham had that exhibition match here. We had a River Boca.
But Agye, I think we also need to add that little variable of COVID. Like people were craving this big atmosphere. It's been a long time since we've had all these people. It was just like a good reason to rally around Canada. That's the thing. It drew footy fans that weren't footy fans. They were just coming out for the experience, which is great too, because that means that my thing, Agye's, I'm so happy people got to experience a soccer experience, because you and I both been to some games in Europe, you in Brazil, everything. But the fact that it goes 45 minutes, you get a half an hour, you got time to pee, grab a couple beers, and you come back for 40.
Go to the washroom for the adults
take a little piss. Yeah.
And then time to pee.
Well, you don't have firing off a pee.
I was talking to my kids. Man, we talking to adults, dog. You got to say go to the washroom.
Just have a pee.
Said I have to go.
But anyways, so that's the real truth. Is it's perfect because you don't have to get up at all. Like in theory, you should just be there for 45 minutes. I just felt like so many people were in hockey mentality and people are getting up countless times. Some people beside us got up 20 minutes late and then left 15 minutes early. And I'm like, why are you here? Like, God, you better live next door or something.
Yo, no doubt.
Better be right next door and you can just go have some hot chocolate right when you get back. Because this is stupid. Like, why are you here? But they came for the experience. They were digging it. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. We got to those big numbers because we had a mixture of soccer fans, sports fans, and Canadians. And Edmonton always kind of like celebrates big events. And that's why we always get to host them. So I know that's a good showing for us for 2026. We should win this host city bid that we have.
If we hosted the Briar, I'd be going to it. You know?
I'm pretty sure we host the Briar like every second year, dog.
No, I know.
You see why we're a match, people? Because Craig got them quirky shits I ain't never have. But shout out to him because that's what makes him my guy. You know? Yo, speaking of quirky shits, Jones, isn't Curb starting new season? Your favorite show?
Starting. We're already a few episodes in. Oh, you bet. That's Sunday night, baby.
I was gonna start watching this time in honor of you. I haven't got, but maybe I'll just
don't come in at the end though. Don't come in at the end.
What do you mean? It's a comedy show, man.
No, but it's not, because there's so many inside jokes. You need to know from the start.
Okay.
Commit.
Anyone who watches Curb Your Enthusiasm, let me and Jones know on our Instagram or Facebook messages. Like, can I just start watching the season right now, or do I have to follow Jones and start watching it from season 1? It's a comedy, dog. I don't need to see the storyline, but it will be funnier. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but I definitely would just start watching. Anyways, yo, on to the next, my man. One last shout out, Canadian men's national team. Big up, respect, big points on top of the CONCACAF table right now, going in qualifying. 6 games left, 2 at home, 4 away, looking good. Most goals in the world in World Cup qualifying. Canada, ahead of Germany,
and they're crushing the clean sheets too.
You know what I mean? So big up our goal scorers, like Jones said, taking our opportunities, whether they're many or few, we're scoring the goals. So big up to that. But yo, this is No Warning Podcast, Red Dot Headshot. You guys who don't listen or haven't listened to the audio format, which is the predominant format, we have so many shows. So go back in Spotify and Apple Podcasts and check out in the archives, download, subscribe, rate, review, all of that stuff. We just want more support, more listeners. There's lots of depth of topic. And one of the things we do, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I love the audio because I hate being on camera in the winter, man. I am just pale as hell right now. Like, and I was in Europe, like I had sun and it's just gone, Agye. It's just gone.
Gone, dog.
Where to go?
And me, like, I'm like Cadbury. Cadbury every time. Hershey's.
People are
hating on me. Tam and all Deuce, all y'all hating on this. Look at this darkness. Enjoy it, people. While y'all pale, fade away into the winter snow, I'm gonna still be melanin.
Oh, okay, that's right? Enough. I just felt like I was in like a cam video or something right now.
Yo, okay, all jokes aside, yo, what we like to do on our podcast, we have mad original segments. Me and Jones just created ourselves that we like to run it back on every other episode here on so on so forth. But one that we do every show is the 100-meter dash. And it's essentially a rapid fire, quick questions segment. So me and Jones essentially ask a question to one another. We both give an answer. And you guys get to watch the first No Warning Zoom edition. All right, Jones, should we run it? Should we run it? You ready? Okay,
yo, let me start it off, dude.
You started off, dog.
What time is it?
Oh, yes, my bad. Hey, it's time for the 100-meter dash, my man. Shout out to Canadian sprinters. Big up.
All right, dude.
Let's go.
Let's keep it Canadian. Kyle Larin, Jonathan David. Who you grabbing? Who you drafting?
Strike Force. Yo, what I've seen, I think Jonathan David, really quick feet. But Larin seems like how you were saying poacher. I didn't see him doesn't look like he dances and dangles people. He looks like if you give him a chance in the box, goal, done. So I'm going to go Larin. And a little bit more veteran experience. So I'm going Kyle Larin for mine.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking of the future here. I'm going Mr. JD.
No problem. Respect Jonathan David.
Yeah, because but Larin is unbelievable. But he's going into like the later stage. He's a co-owner of a team in, what is it called? He's a co-owner of a team in Ontario.
Guess what?
Yeah,
we're gonna have his business partner, my man, Kosi Stobbs, is actually one of the co-owners with Kyle Larin and Julian de Guzman of this team you speak of in Ontario. So big up to the property owl, my boy Kosi Stobbs. He'll be coming on a No Warning Zoom one day. And just big up to him in general.
Simcoe County Rovers. Simcoe County Rovers.
Okay, there you go. That's the one.
Yeah, in the Ontario.
Because I actually was.
That's so cool. Oh, I'm excited for this.
That's hype, right? Oh. I seen him in a picture with him on his story, and I'm like, "What's going on, Coast? What's going on?" And he let me know, yeah, like me, Julian de Guzman, and Kyle Larin are all in on the Simcoe Rovers. So big up my boy Kosi Stobbs, the property owl, entrepreneur extraordinaire, and dope friend. Man's always has my back. So shout out Kosi. But this 100-meter dash, focus. Jones, next up. After we went on this road trip, and I'm speaking of the Oilers now, after seeing this road trip and getting a taste of Stuart Skinner, but you got a big mouthful of Mikko Koskinen. Going forward, Would you rather split time like Smith and Koskinen were doing with Skinner and Koskinen? Or do you think it's better to just stay the course with Koskinen and then Skinner just punch in every 4 or 5 games like he's been doing?
Well, I think they're going to go with the
Skinner's
latter.
only gotten like 2 or 3 starts so far. And I feel like he played good in the starts he had. So that's my answer, just so you know. Skinner needs to get some more time. What's your opinion?
Oh, Koski, he loves letting in the first DA. That's the worst. Oh, that's his kryptonite. He lets in that first shot a lot.
Too much.
But his record's still pretty good. He's played pretty well. Like, it's just everyone's good. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater here.
So answer the question.
But I think it's Oilers style, and
Okay.
I think they're gonna go the trace. But I would stick with Koskinen at this moment, and wait. Hopefully Smith gets better. That's be my choice.
Okay. Veteran leadership. Jones, you said you didn't see. So me and Jones are going to talk about it in the future. But this week, Oprah Winfrey had a sit-down chat with superstar, our boy, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. Had some crazy, interesting things to say, which we won't get into today. But all that aside, Jones,
I can imagine.
You tell me, you have to pick an actor. You only get one. Do you pick my man, Will Smith, or do you pick the OG legend, Denzel Washington?
Oh,
yes. You're the casting director.
Ooh, I got to do a quick Bad Boys, Men in Black. I'm going Denzel. Just John Q. Amazing. Oh, Hurricane.
Man on Fire, dog.
Man on Fire.
Training Day, dog.
Training Day.
Ricochet for the old school heads. Woo, Ricochet. Denzel was something serious back.
Yeah, I'm going Denzel. You?
Denzel Washington, dog. He pretty much raised me. Denzel's, he's like Uncle Denzel.
What is your favorite Denzel movie right off the top of the dome?
Off the top of the dome, Man on Fire, he just snapped on everyone. So I love that. Good. But Training Day is insane, dog. And even American Gangster. Denzel, like I said, he raised me, bro. Yeah. He's like the only actor who was hot from the time I started watching movies till today. Literally, he's been hot he's on like a 50-year run of hotness. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for Denzel to cool down. Now even his son was the main guy in Ballers, remember?
Oh, well, I was going to say hotness, just like Eva Mendes in Training Day. Sheesh.
No. Okay, Jones, barbecue brisket or pulled pork? What you going with, dog? Time to sit down to eat. Barbecue brisket, pulled pork.
I'm going brisket. That's a tough one. I love some pulled pork, but I feel like it's because I can make pulled pork. I can't make good brisket.
I'm with you on the brisket. I'm not going to get into all the depths, but I'm definitely with you. It's just when you get beef and it's just too juicy. Something about beef and it's so juicy. You know what I mean? Okay.
That's how I always describe it too.
You got the last one here or what?
No, let's that's it for the 100-meter dash. Let's jump over.
That's it. Okay, my bad. Okay, cool.
Well, we can't.
Thought we had one more, but it's all good.
No, but if you're rocking that hat, we gotta talk about the Oilers.
Oilers, no doubt. Last but not least, this ain't gonna be one of those long morning podcasts. We chop it up quick.
Oh, we've never had any of those. Get out of here. We're like an audiobook. You just gotta listen.
We have so many formats of this show. It's crazy. 10 topics in 30 minutes. Shout out to Deuce for making us believe that was gonna be our format that we stick with forever. But we're like Bruce Lee, man. Like water, we just gotta flow. Anyways, Oilers road trip. We went on the road trip, Jones. We only lost 2 games, 1 game. Everyone in Edmonton is so hyped up. What were we, 9-1 or 8-2?
Detroit and Buff, not good.
So was that 8-2 or 9-1? What was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, because
either way,
9-3.
Let's get to the point. 11-4.
Oh.
Right now, the Edmonton Oilers are 11-4. It's all good. Oilers are 11-4, but we lost 3 of the last 5, I believe it is. We lost to Buffalo, we lost to Detroit, and we lost to the Jets, and we beat the Blues, and we beat Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a big standings guy. I'm never gonna ride with the standings until it's like basketball.
Standings don't matter.
I'll tune in game 45. I'll start to have a little look-see. That's when I pay attention to
I
standings.
feel you.
I'll watch all the games.
You're right.
But I'm just not paying attention to like wins. Like, you know, it just sucks when they obviously
only
get
football
the L games.
that matters.
Well, especially in games that they should have won. Like they should have beat Buffalo. They should have beat Detroit. Like those are those games where you're just like, shoot, you know, like Winnipeg dominated them. So that was no surprise.
Yeah, no doubt. No problem about that loss.
And I just want to say, I got a little weird voodoo. Is this just payback for the 80s? Like, because we slapped Winnipeg up for the 80s. Just slapping every year they lost to the Oilers. And now they swept us last year. They seem to just have the Oilers numbers.
Yeah, that's one time.
You're frozen on me.
No.
No, you're frozen.
You just said we slapped them for like 2 days.
I'm cutting out, dude.
I want to say that
yo, can you hear me?
I find that because of the trauma.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were frozen.
I can hear you perfect. Can you hear me?
2 minutes. Yeah, now
you hear me? You see me now?
No,
it wasn't 2 minutes. It was about 24 seconds. Chill out. One shot. Anyways, I just wanted to say that, like, Oiler fans, I feel like they have so much trauma because we're so red hot and we lost like 3 of the last 5 and everyone wants to trade someone all of a sudden. It's like, so Leon and Connor are doing record-setting offensive numbers. No, real talk. Edmonton gets so carried away. We were winning like madmen, and then we lost 3 of 5 on a road trip. And now everyone's like, what are we doing? What's wrong with this team? Yo, all that happened is we lost 3 of 5. The real problem is we're giving away too many goal opportunities. I don't need to trade nobody. Maybe instead of pointing at Koskinen, people need to recognize how we're supposed to win every game with 5 goals. They let, in every one of the 5 games, they let 3 5-on-5 goals. So that means that we literally have to score a minimum of 4 goals per game to win games. It's working so far. I love having the sickest offense with Draisaitl and McDavid.
Hey, we talked about this on a pod before. I love this exciting hockey. That's what I like. This is what I'd rather watch this. Get me back to the 80s.
I would too. I would too, Jones.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking long term. It's a little nerve-wracking for later on. But you're right. Enjoy the wins and the goals for now.
But the weird thing about Oiler talk in Edmonton is it's one of those common themes that you can just, it's like, how's the weather? How about them Oilers? It's just such a commonality that, like, we've seen it before back in 06. Everyone will have that game on. You'll be walking by anywhere. Everywhere's going to have that game on. There's no one that's just being like, oh, can you toss on this? You know?
There's no light feelings about the Oilers.
And then that's where people come up with these immediate solutions because it dominates their minds. It's like people saying, oh, let's trade for Fleury at the deadline. Deadline's so far away. Like, really? Like, we're already thinking about a goalie that lost his job and got shipped. Like, it's just like, come on, like, Fleury's amazing, but he also, you know, this is another old goalie. Like, what are we gonna do here? We're just gonna have a bunch of
it's the experience factor. People know that if Mike Smith's old and Fleury's old, but I was in the cup final 2 years ago and I was the main reason my team got there. Smith is just Dave Tippett's favorite player that he ever coached. You know what I mean? And that's real. Also, I think Dave Tippett is obsessed with Mike Smith. Well, and 41's 41 in the world. It's not just like
I know,
but what I've been.
But also, Leonard took his job for a reason. That's a factor too, right? Like
well, youth is a big factor. If it's a tie, and you're 5 years younger, you win. So I don't know if he's way better than Marc-Andre Fleury.
I'm just saying you're gonna have to give something up for him, and I'm just on the roster right now. Unless it's
Jones, the truth is, if our team,
unless it's a pick and a prospect,
that's what it would be. The new age of hockey, people don't want roster players unless they're stars. And also, actually, new age of sports, I would say that almost every sport.
But at the deadline, anybody who's shopping a goalie has all the leverage. Because what is Holland supposed to do if he's really dead set on getting a goalie? It's like doing a Ben Simmons trade right now. Like,
Jones, if we're
my man Daryl Morey's in trouble, but that's a whole different talk.
If we're in first place or we're rolling at the deadline, like we're rolling at the deadline, you wouldn't trade a second or third level prospect and a second round pick. I would trade a second round pick
for Fleury. I wouldn't.
if we're in a certain position. We have 4 solid shots at the cup with these guys all under contract. 4.
Yeah, I don't think he's a difference maker. It's not like you're getting.
So why are we going to the playoffs?
It's not like you're getting a Hellebuck. It's not like you're getting a Hellebuck.
Why are we going to the playoffs with a so-so goalie then? With a sick team.
I don't think Fleury's that much better than a healthy Mike Smith. I don't think Fleury's that much better.
What cup did he go to? It's okay. You see how I said if it's a tie, the young guy wins. If it's a tie with these old men, I want the cup guy.
Okay, but the
man's been to the cup, and it's not like it was 4 years ago.
I know, Agye. Yeah, he didn't have anyone. He didn't have anyone playing good in front of him. You know, like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Like that Vegas team was stacked. Players. No,
our team is offensively stacked like Vegas and Pittsburgh. But who's the defenseman you can't never forget that was on the Vegas Stanley Cup team? Because Peter Angelo wasn't there yet. And I remember my man Letang was killing it in Pittsburgh, but he's not known for his shutdown defense.
Yeah, but that was their
Fleury was also Team Canada's junior goalie and Team Canada's national team goalie. Like the guy's decorated. Mike Smith is sick, but I want the guy who's like big games. I've been in 52 of those. I've been in 52 of those.
I know, Agye, but I'm just saying, like, if I was doing a rating right now and I was putting it, I'd put like Fleury at like a 74 and Mike Smith at like a 71. So I don't think that gap is big enough to give up on. We have a lot of
been hurt every year for the last 3 years straight for big stretches. That's another factor. Fleury? Smith has been hurt every year the last 3 years straight. He's currently hurt. Doc, he's 41 and he's hurt and he got re-injured, rehab.
So then what do you go? Do you go Fleury?
You have to get a goalie.
Fleury
It doesn't have to be Fleury.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Fleury. We need a goalie though.
Well, that's
and not in a rush. But this is pretty much, put it like this. This is coming down the line, this decision, to me.
If you're giving that scenario again, and a goalie comes up because he has one of these like blow ups where he wants out of somewhere, like pulling like the Patrick Waugh kind of leaving Montreal, then I'd be like willing to give up like 2 firsts for it. Because if they got an amazing
goalie,
like
humongous goalie is what you're saying.
Like if Vasilevsky was just like, I hate Tampa, I want to go to the cold. I want to be back in like Russia style.
Not even Vasilevsky.
But I'm just saying, like,
be a good starter. A good starter.
No, I'm saying it like a game changer. That's what I'm saying.
But Jones, you even know that's not easy to get.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's our only hope. Is there's not going to be anyone of value at the trade deadline.
You have to.
No one's going to be there that's going to be a clear upgrade. That's my thing.
Let me tell you something. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins overpaid in terms of years, maybe not 8 million, overpaid, given probably 2 to 3 extra years for solidarity and stability. Hyman, solidarity and stability. So when we make this trade, I'm not saying like sell the farm, but I'm saying seconds and thirds for a goalie improvement at a time where we're in our peak. It's not that crazy to me. I can understand what you're saying, like go super big for a real thing.
You're saying you're upgrading at one, like at the moment you're upgrading for sure.
Yeah.
But by how much? That's what I'm saying.
But
by
not
how
for
much?
how
is it
much?
worth it? Is it cup
worth?
Is it cup worthy? Is Fleury taking us to the cup?
He's helping us go farther than Smith. That's my belief.
Yeah, but how much?
If you get an extra round, is that
like? Wouldn't you rather like if
you know an extra round is a big deal, Jones?
I'd rather play Skinner then. Like it's just like if you're going to take a gamble, I'd rather take a gamble on Skinner. The devil you know versus the devil you don't. I'd rather give Skinner his chance. Let him play a couple of games in the first round.
Yeah, let me see how he plays.
He gets back.
Honestly, Jones, let me see how he plays all season. If he gets to that stage, I'd be down for that. Yeah. I just don't think the Oilers are in a position where they can play around being chintzy at the deadline with the team they have. That's all I'm really saying. I don't disagree with you either. I like the idea that go all out. Okay, so in your approach, forget that. So let's just say Hellebuck as a option. He's not going to be an option. That's why this is crazy to think we're going to.
No, that's what my joke was. Like you need somebody to be forcing their way out of town for it to make us a cup contender immediately. Like,
okay,
really
so let's
take us to the cup goaltending wise.
This is just rhetoric. It's not going to happen. But based on your analysis or analogy, if somebody said Yamamoto and 2 firsts for Hellebuck and we're in first place at the end of the season, would you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Vezina winner. That's yeah.
All good. Okay, so you want the big swing at the big goalie. If somebody said Broberg, Yamamoto, a first and a third. and we'll throw you the goalie and a third back.
Maybe. I have like this kind of like elite class in my mind of goalies that I'd be willing to do it for.
That's what I'm saying. If it was outrageously elite, would you give the outrageous pay that it would take?
Yes. Yeah, if they're still riding high and they win the West, like if they're ahead, even if they don't win the West, if they're first in the Pacific, entering the trade deadline.
And so you want to take a stone cold shot, whereas I want to take a like, yeah, let's take a three, but
because to me, if you're going to do that, that's what I mean. If you're going to do that, then just run Skinner, and then you keep your prospects, and some of those could turn out to be absolute studs.
You won me back with your argument. Okay, I'll take that. I never give you the W, so you better take that W, dog.
You better believe it.
Yo, red dot headshot. No warning. Don't you?
Yo, before we go, yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, before we go, I had the Canada flag up. Brought this to the game. I was doing a little bit of this.
Respect. Man bought his baby flag. Respect.
Yo, seriously, I want you to have a look at this. Okay. Right. This is what I posted at Jones in the Zone on Instagram for Remembrance Day. I was in a museum in Malta, right? Think about how crazy that is, Agye. Something that's on display in a museum was just sitting at home on my piano. It's from 1918. Sick. It's over 100 years old.
What is it?
So this is what the Queen gave all the soldiers that were fighting for Christmas, and it was filled with cigarettes and chocolate. So it's like a little case.
Wow.
And this was in a case in the museum in Malta. Like, I just like, it's
a World War I artifact.
Yes, World War I artifact was just chilling. And then we saw it and it was just bonkers, because it's like, that's why I just like,
Remembrance Day, shout out to the soldiers worldwide, because Jones, imagine you got a Hershey Kisses and a pack of smokes for your life. Thank you for putting your life on the line for the country. Here's a chocolate bar and a half a pack of cigarettes.
Insane.
Like, damn.
But it's such
people are tripping.
Such a beautiful, like, they really took so much pride back then, and just like the craftsmanship of it all. It's just so amazing.
They did.
And I always say, from the my analogy is just imagine what you were doing when you're 18. Like, imagine going to war. It's insane. And yeah,
people need to pay more respect. So lest we forget, even though it's not Remembrance Day, because there doesn't need to be a right day to salute fallen soldiers and even current soldiers. You know what I mean? No matter how you slice it, there's somebody who on behalf of their nation is going to put their life on the line. Not all soldiers are innocent. Not all armies are perfect, but at the end of the day, the whole premise of an army is to put your life on the line for your country. And the old days bosses, when it was real ugly war, Jesus, man. So I don't need to go into depth. People know.
Well, and a tip for next year, because I know everyone's had that poppy fall off. There's a thing you can get at the dollar store where you just do a little twist on the back, so it just keeps it on there.
And they also have those little rubber grips. I need one of those. I swear on my mom, every time I left my car, the poppy fell out.
The seatbelt, it's deadly. The seatbelt is deadly.
It's wild. But yo, red dot headshot.
Catch up, Team Canada,
no baby. Podcast. Big up Team Canada. Big up the Oilers. They're gonna turn it around. Shout out to 100-meter dash and all of our no warning segments. We're gonna sprinkle them in for you guys, but don't think we're not still gonna do our audio podcast, because me and Jones like to really bear down and really chat. And sometimes we don't want to stare at each other on the computer to do it. So we're gonna go to our classic format, but you'll always get the chance now that we've started this Zoom thing to keep it moving, and look out for the next interview coming soon.
I'm excited.
But Jones, we're going to get back together probably next few days. And me and Jones are going to.
Oh, yeah. Wait, before we go, I just want to end. Wait, no, I have a hot one. Bro.
I got these headphones.
Sorry.
On, dog.
I just want to say the next one. I just couldn't forget it. I know you're trying to skate away from it. So next time we'll bring it up. But I didn't just beat you in one fantasy league. I beat you.
Yeah, you can talk about it. It's all good. I've taken L's. I can handle that.
Thank God. Thank God we're in our league, because we had probably the lowest scores in the league, but I still beat
Jones. You. Just so you know, because you're in last place, I said the same thing to my boy Jose. I do morale.
I'm tied last place with like 5 people.
I do morale raising losses.
I'm coming to the playoffs.
I do morale raising losses for my friends just to pick them up a bit.
Yeah, well,
You were
You'll
down
be saying
there.
that when I'm in the playoffs and I'm winning because my team's getting healthy. They're getting healthy. Someone's at their rest. No more COVID.
Yo, next no warning.
I had 9 guys out at one point. I had 9 guys.
Yo, I'm in the same boat. I had Russell Wilson and Chris Carson. Double IR. Anyways, next no warning, we're going to get into a little NFL chat, how wild the league spread out and got all evened out. Crypto.com arena. My beloved Staples Center is done. Gone. We're going to get into that. That's a huge change. $700 million worth of change. Adele, big concerts to say I'm back. Yo, is this a new trend, Jones? If you're gone away for a bit, you have a big concert to say I'm back.
She's my go-to goosebumps. She gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, her voice is fire. And Rich Paul, what a boss. But we'll get into all that. And then Will Smith and Oprah, I have to chat that up. And it's no warning. So there's going to be some other things we bring up. We don't know yet. But big up Ghana. And before I go, big up Ghana Black Stars. We beat South Africa on to the final round of World Cup qualifications.
Peace, bro.